Challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of small traders. It's a big challenge. Survival will be a key.
Correct. So we are waiting for Dr. Koyal, Dr. Sonawane, and Jeff as well. So let's give them another, couple of minutes, and probably we can start.
Sure. Sure.
लाईट नाही गेली, बंद पडलंय. त्यांच्या बाजूने बंद पडलंय. कोणासाठी थांबायचं अजून वगैरे वगैरे वगैरे.
I think we can start, and we can, fill in Dr. Goyal and Jeff and Dr. Sonawane
Right. Sure.
wants to join in. If everybody agrees, then we can start.
Sure. No problem.
Okay, sure. So actually, we wanted to schedule this meeting today to go over a few things, since we already have confirmed or approached our presenters, and we already have Mr. Sukhmeet Singh from Agree to Power. He would be one of the presenters for the webinar. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to introduce Mr. Sukhmeet Singh to everybody, to our advisory board. Also, I wanted to talk to our advisory board about confirming the title of the webinar. We have just mentioned something. I'll let you know. Also, confirm a few topics that Mr. Singh is going to cover, and if there are any additional items that we need to cover in the meeting, we can do that as well. So these are some of the items that we really wanted to cover this time. So first, let's start off with a quick round of introduction, and then we can all get to the next level. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go first.
Sure.
Mr. Singh, yeah, my name is Ritik Kashyap. I am the head of business operations, and for Connexim Global, I take care of scheduling all the webinars, executioning all the webinars, partnering with presenters, and I overlook the operations as well. And then I have Bijit Chakraborty. He's my partner. He also aids me in all these activities. Bijit, why don't you go ahead and give a quick presentation?
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for the platform. Hello, Dr. Singh. So my name is Bijit, and I am the director of enterprise partnership for Connexim Global. I help Ritik with all the activities in terms of operations and taking care of webinars and seminars we conduct all over the world. So that's a brief description about me, and I'll pass the platform to Partha Bosu.
Okay, hi, this is Partha. I work for Environmental Defense Fund. I lead the air quality work, and I have been in this space for almost 17, 18 years. I know many of these people in this group, which is a pleasure. And I look forward to the success of the deliberations and also of the endeavor that Bridget and Ritik are leading. All the best.
Thank you. Mr. Gokul, why don't you go next?
Yeah. Hello everyone. This is Prashant Kokil. I was working with Tata Power earlier as partly as a chief sustainability officer for Mumbai operations and head of corporate environment and climate change for the entire Tata company, including national and international operations. And I just superannuated from 1st June. I am on my own. So after 37 years, I have retired from Tata Power. So I have met many of you, and if you can recall, uh, maybe when we meet personally some point of time in future, you may recall. Okay.
We would definitely look forward to meet personally,
Yeah.
Mr. Gokul, for sure. Yeah, once this whole Corona scene is over, then we will have the conference for sure, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll hopefully meet everybody there as well. Dr. Kaushik, why don't you go next?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure again to be part of this group. And I am Gitanjali, and I am currently associated with the National Clean Air Program in 8 cities of Maharashtra. So I was involved in the preparation, and right now I am working closely with Maharashtra Pollution Control Board in implementing the approved action plans. So it will be
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to interact with everyone, to learn from the experiences which you all have. And I would like to contribute my best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kaushik. Mr. Singh,
Yeah, hello everybody. I am Sukhmeet. I am the founder of the company A2P Energy. We primarily work on resolving the stubble burning issue in North India. I am the founder of also a not-for-profit entity where we work with farmers on outreach and also stubble collection. Then this company A2P Energy, this focuses on value-added products from paddy straw. As of now, we have focused more on biofuels. So we have a couple of units in Punjab where we source the local paddy straw and convert that into biofuels. So we make fuel for boilers or out of paddy straw. Now we are also pitching for replacing coal in power plants using the paddy straw based fuel. So government has recently opened up tenders to replace the coal in the power plants with the biofuels. So we are one of the initial firms in the first plot where we are trying to focus in terms of not only helping resolve the paddy straw burning problem, but also replace the fossil fuels in specifically large quantities in power plant. So I think, yeah, so broadly, before starting A2P Energy, I worked 7 years in ISB, Indian School of Business, as Associate Director in the Mohali campus. And prior to that, I had around close to 10 years of experience, mostly in technology consulting. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Mr. Singh. So we also have from Kinexim Global team, we also have Prarthana. She helped us with all our marketing activities. She helped us build the content. Uh, she helped Kinexim uh, look good, actually. So, Prarthana, if you would like to say a quick hi.
Hello everyone.
We also have Saurav. Saurav, basically, he is our IT go-to person. He manages the website. He also does a lot of IT stuff like taking care of the servers and everything. So Saurav, if you'd like to say a quick hi as well.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi, Saurav. So
Yes,
we have somebody, I'm not sure. We have environmental health masters. Is it Jeff?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. So sorry, I
Great.
just woke up. Just woke up. So
No problem. We understand, right? You're in one part of the world where, yeah, it's still morning, so completely understandable, no problem. So we were actually having a round of introductions. So Jeff, please, if you'd like to introduce yourself, we have our presenter for the webinar, Mr. Sukhmeet Singh. So we were just doing a round of introductions with
hello? Yes, I couldn't hear what you just said. Let me go. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Jeff, I was saying that we are just having a round of introductions. We have Mr. Sukhmeet Singh from A2B Power, and yeah, he is one of the presenters of the webinar. So we were just having a round of introduction for him.
Okay.
So if you would like to introduce yourself, yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm Jeff Smith. I work as a consultant for WHO, but I'm mostly involved in citizen science and science communications type projects for WHO. I've been involved in air quality monitoring since 2008. So that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, to begin with, I wanted to give this platform away to Mr. Singh to basically talk about what is he doing, how is he doing it, and what is he going to bring to the table for the webinar. We just want to understand some of the topics that he wants to cover, and then we can discuss over those topics. Mr. Singh, over to you.
Yeah. So, what I can cover, I will specifically focus on the stubble burning issue, starting from the farmer's point of view, why this happens every year, then challenges in the collection of the straw, how technology can be used for straw collection, how it is beneficial for the farmers. So I'm just going step by step. One is the collection bit and the working and the outreach with the farmers mindset. Second step would be after the collection, what do we do with the straw? So even challenges in storing of the straw, keeping the straw for processing. So what are the challenges around that? And then the next step is the opportunities in straw processing, biofuels, that will focus on specifically the green energy part, where we can replace fossil fuel with the fuel being manufactured from paddy straw. Then I will give some perspective in terms of comparing it with the current available fossil fuels. How does this green fuel compares with the fossil fuel? What are the challenges being faced by players such as us to scale up? And then I think from a policy perspective, what could be the interventions which government can do to increase the usage of the paddy straw and help solve the problem. So I think, yeah, broadly, farmers, then collection, then storage, and then processing. I would give our perspective where all we have done interventions and what technologies we have used. So broadly, I think I'll cover these topics.
All right, thank you. So, I just wanted to open this platform to everybody to see if that is something that we can, focus on, or if you would like to add something more to this.
And I think just what would be the duration? Sorry, I missed for the talk.
So, It is going to be a 1 hour session where the presentation will be for 20 minutes. We would have two presenters in the meeting.
Okay.
We also have contacted Nabi.
Okay.
This is in relation to the MOU that was signed with another Swedish company called BioEndev in this field as well.
Yeah, I know. We have in fact supplied them some fuel and some straw to them.
Yeah, so we have Dr. Joy K. Roy, who's working as a scientist over there. So we have
Yeah.
contacted him. I think that he would not be able to make it to this meeting, but we are still in contact with him. And yeah, so 20 minutes of presentation, and then we would open up for question and answers as well.
Sure. I think that sounds good. So I can cover all these points in 20 minutes and then open up for the Q&A.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to open it up for our advisory board members if you have any questions, queries, or if you would like to add something to it.
No, I think this is very good. This is Partha. I think this is very relevant. Uh, every year during the winters, well, transponder is not a huge share in India. In Delhi, it's not more than 9 to 10% annually. But during the bad months, which is November, December, our contribution from stubble burning increases as high as 30%. So, I think where the whole world is looking at the happy seeder as the silver bullet, I think a new, a business entrepreneurship, which not only provides jobs and business opportunity, but also is a different kind of a solution, starting with power pellets, etc. Is a very interesting concept. I would love to hear. So I think I look forward to the presentation.
Also, if you require, probably I can also mention about, since I think a lot of people would know about happy seeders. So what are the challenges around using happy seeders? Why it is not able to solve the whole problem? So I think, yeah, that also I can touch about for a few minutes.
Sure. You know,
Yeah.
that would be great as well. We can if we cover as much as perspective that we can in that 20 minutes, and also we are not overwhelming our audiences with information, then we are good to go with it, because in 20 minutes I can understand that Mr. Singh, you would be also able to cover few things. And if we would organize, since we are organizing this as a series of webinars, so we can still talk more about it, and we can connect you to people who have who would have more questions. So that is possible. So yeah, if you want to cover that as well, we would love to hear it from you. Mr. Kokil, do you have anything in that regard, if you want to share some ideas as well, since you are from the power sector, and you might have some idea?
See, I think Mr. Sukhmeet Singh has already said, but if you can suggest some solutions which ease out the problems which are normally faced for the sustained utilization of this particular resource. That is something which we should include. That is what I feel, because then it will set the ball rolling for receiving suggestions as well as implementation in the consequent seminars also.
Sure. Yeah, I would talk about these.
Okay, great. Dr. Kaushik, Jeff, if you want to add something.
Well, I don't normally comment on the content of others' presentations typically, but yeah, I don't know who gave the most recent comment, but I agree with that. I've been looking at crop stubble for a long time, and I've been talking to two NGOs in India working on projects, and who they speak to the farmers and ideas for how to process and handle the stubble and so forth, so on. Because the big barrier is getting the stubble affordably at a cost competitive price from the farm to be processed. And so there are some interventions that would help make that much easier, and that's by bringing equipment out to the farm, which puts us in another situation with the happy seeder, right? That you have to be able to afford equipment on the farm to make a difference, perhaps. But there are, as we had suggested earlier, multiple solutions to this, and I would not want us to promote just turning them into pellets for combustion in power generation facilities. There are other uses for them. They've been used to make plates and forks and knives and spoons, like for that are disposable or recyclable, so forth, so on. This type of alternatives, and so I would suggest that we provide a list of all the ideas. We don't have to speak about them, but provide a list of all the ideas. I'm not against using them as energy pellets per se, but I wouldn't want that to be the sole solution that we're promoting.
For Jeff, and that is the idea of the of this series that we are conducting right here. So the first application will be for the power industry, and then we will continue to look for applications in other industries as well. Like you said, how can we recycle that to make certain products that can be used, instead of the other plastics that we use right now. And I've heard that rice straw can also be used for the textile industry. So we are looking to conduct a webinar on that as well. On we would look for other applications, not only in the power sector but also in the other sectors as well. And we will go ahead and organize webinars on that as well. So that's a very good call. Yes, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Dr. Kaushik.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there. One last thing I would mention is that you may or may not know that IKEA has started making all kinds of products
Yes. Yes.
using, and I can connect anyone who wants to talk to the chief and responsible for that in Delhi. I can connect them to that if they'd like.
We would love to. I was reading an article where IKEA is basically taking all these straws and then making furniture out of it. And that sounded really amazing. And I would love to connect with somebody from there. Jeff, if you would do me the favor, it would be great, actually.
Okay.
Sure. And Dr. Kaushik?
Yeah, I would agree with Jeff. I think like not just one, we should have other alternatives. We actually were associated with a group of farmers from Sonipat. So what they do is they take the stubble to a unit, and that unit uses that stubble in a boiler, and then they blanch the vegetables, the green peas, the carrots, and the sweet corn, and then they package it and give it to Del Monte. So that's how they are using it. So we were associated with this case study. So I think it's very good, and I actually would like to now see the presentation because it's already 12:30.
Dr. Singh, do you have a presentation for today? I'm not sure because Dr. Kaushik, we were not showing any presentations today because Mr. Singh has to work on it. Once
Okay.
he is done, I think he can share it with us, and we can all share it with you as well for a quick reference check there. So, Mr. Singh, do you have anything to show today? I was just wondering.
I have a general presentation right now, but probably for this specifically, I'll have to change some stuff so I can share the presentation in days. That
Sure.
is fine. Yeah.
No problem.
And also, just to add on, we also started looking at the material side. We are also in touch with IKEA in terms of exploring the packaging stuff, also sustainable cutlery. And so as of now, it is more of exploration phase, checking on different other products, non-fuel line also. But yeah, so there are a few challenges on that side in terms of comparing it with what we have existing. But yeah, that also looks to be a promising way because we also feel that one particular solution will not take all of the stubble because the quantity available is so large. So what we suggest is that it has to be multiple line of solutions, and some area might be covered by solutions which are like existing, like happy seeder, some for fuel and some for material side of it. So we, as I said, we also started looking there, and can give some details on that side also.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so next, what I wanted to actually discuss is the title of the webinar. So what we are using now is just a very generic one, which says that stubble burning and its alternative use in the power industry. So I would like to open this up for our panel to suggest if you have any thoughts on what should be the title of the webinar.
Sorry, can you come again? The title, it was not clear.
So we are using it as stubble burning and its alternative use in the power industry. Uh, but yeah, we can change it as far as the preferences from the board. Mr. Singh, do you have any suggestions there?
If it is only for power, like specifically on these two, like speaker one and the other one was the bioender you mentioned, then it's fine. But yeah, if you want to talk about the other solutions also, then we can have more generic one also. But yeah, really depends how much time we have got to talk about other solutions, or you want to do it next time. So yeah.
So we will first of all we will just focus on the power industry as of now. So the next will be on a separate industry like like furniture. We can have IKEA as a presenter from there, and we can talk about those solutions. We can get somebody from the textile industry. I forgot the names of the companies, but there are two companies who are working in that regard, where they are collecting straws and working in the textile industry as well. So we can organize a separate webinar for that. So it's going to be a series of webinars where we are covering one topic. Uh, so the first one is we will focus on the power industry itself.
Then it's fine for power. I think it's fine. At least, yeah, we can let others give inputs, but
You're fine with it.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Bosu, Jeff, Dr. Kaushik, Mr. Kukul, if you want to share some light on it.
Well, I wanted again just to say that I don't get involved with trying to guide what someone else's presentation would be, but I guess as a board of advisors, my advice would simply to be, I mean, the use case that he's presenting is uh, waste to energy, right? Taking the stubble and doing that.
Right.
So that should remain the same. But how I've done this before is just a bulleted list, even one slide, and in 1 minute you can talk about, yes, there are these other alternatives or something, and you can have some photographs of what IKEA is proposing, but and perhaps we can try to find out through a few others, what's the scale? Have they scaled that up yet? And what's going on with it? But I think the goal should be that we, and how I've been describing it for some time, is if we could commoditize rice straw stubble and wheat straw stubble, if there's a way to commoditize it and by how it's processed at the farm so that it's reaching a supply chain that then people can purchase and use using a web app or some other mechanism, online market of sorts, to then purchase the stubble after it's already processed and ground down into smaller bits. And this gives the market the opportunity to find what is the solution for that stubble versus just we each trying to guess which solution is going to be the best or the most or what have you. Because as Dr. Singh has pointed out, right, it's very clear that it has to be a holistic solution. It's involving multiple solutions, and I think then overcoming that barrier, which is getting this very bulky material from the farm and to distribution centers. This is the biggest barrier that I've been told by farmers and groups that work with farmers. Over.
Yeah. So Jeff, you very rightly pointed out.
Just to continue with what Jeff said, what I suggest is that if we use the word fuel in place of power, so it is being used as a fuel, using the waste as fuel, that will be the idea. And then since the power generation is the single largest bulk user with potential of concentrated consumption when it is available, and that's the reason why we will continue with what Mr. Singh is going to present. It fits into the logic, and then we can explore the other other options in subsequent seminars. So that will engage other than power energy users also. So that will increase our partnering and viewership also. So if you can put this as a theme, that is using it as an energy source or fuel, and then focusing on power. So
Sure.
that's what I think we should do. It's a call, I mean.
Sure. Mr. Singh, you were saying something.
Yeah, no, I was just responding to Mr. Jeff's comment. Yeah, so he's rightly pointed out one of the biggest challenges about the collection bit. So, and he was talking about the platform. In fact, we have a not-for-profit arm where we have already working with Cisco and WWF on creating this platform. So we are in the process of making this open platform for buying and selling the straw. We realize that there are companies, some even from outside India, who want to come and establish the business from using of the straw, be it energy for other purposes, but they face challenge in terms of collection or working with so many individual farmers. So what we have done through a not-for-profit trust is building this platform where farmers can be consolidated, become as a consolidated seller for the straw, and on other side, let industry to put their requirements on top of the annual usage of their possible buying of the straw. So we are basically connecting the demand and the supply through this platform.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, so we can still go ahead and work on the title and change a couple of things like Mr. Kokal suggested that change power to fuel. We can certainly do that, and yeah, we can share it with the group here. So what I basically understand that the major problem that we are currently having is getting that straw from the farmers, or do we have anything apart from that as well, which is more concerning, or a majority of the roadblock is covered by that? So is it just uh, getting those straws from the farmer? Is that the main problem?
I think every step there are problems. That's why it's not getting used in quantities. So starting from, as I mentioned, getting the working with so many farmers, getting the straw, then storage has issues, conversion of that into energy products has an issue, and then fighting with fossil fuels as a green source of energy. That has also its own challenges. So I think probably I'll explain each step in detail and what are the challenges, uh, why we face of still not being able to using this straw in bulk quantities.
Sure. And I just also wanted to have a quick suggestion from everybody, uh, or Mrs. Singh. I'm not sure if you're going to cover that in your presentation. Are we also talking about all the stakeholders that come into picture for this? Because I think that would be very necessary to identify those. When we're talking about a solution, I think it is very necessary to identify the stakeholders who would be working towards that solution. So are you going to cover that as well?
I can cover about from a industry perspective, like the buyer of the fuel. Second would be from the government perspective. But obviously, it is from the lens of our company where we see that these stakeholders can add value to solve this problem. So I think I can cover the stakeholders bit from our perspective.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I would like to again ask our advisory board members if they think similar to what we think. Talking about the shareholders. Mr. Boso, would you like to share something?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It depends. Like you are trying to do a webinar, there is a time constraint, but having a quick comparative view from other aspects might be very, very useful, because then it basically puts light into the discussion that is happening by the presenter, right? And then you can have a comparison to make. I mean, for me, we NGOs, we academic people tend to think in a certain way, but I like what Mr. Kokil said. That's a very different aspect. It's a very different way of thinking. So maybe there are some other corporates who might be looking at it, and there is a solution that lies there. Because otherwise, if you look at from the Punjab issue, it's a very complex issue. It's not a question of just stubble. It is a multiple layered issue, starting from water to many other things to over pesticide use. I mean, it's fine. We'll have to take it from a corner, and we can't look at every corner at the same time, probably. But I think it's a good idea to have a little bit more stakeholders and look at it from a slightly fuel side or energy side, as Mr. Kokil was.
So, Mr. Kokil, Jeff, Dr. Kaushik, if you have any comment on that?
I was thinking that the Department of Agriculture of each state, particularly Haryana and Punjab, they do like a lot of awareness workshops. They are involved at the ground also. So maybe if we could have, maybe if you could just write to the Department of Agriculture and also the local regional office of the Pollution Control Board. I think if they are involved, they would have a stake also, and in future they might or might not like to support some of our activities as well. So I agree with the others that if some of these important stakeholders, if we could involve them.
Sure. Yeah, we can, involve them. We can invite them to the webinar as well, just to, see what the solutions are, because they might be working in some aspects, and we have the other industry working in the other aspects. So yeah, we can certainly. The whole idea is to basically link each and everything so that we reach to a solution, right? So everybody should be aware of the stakeholders. We should complete the whole goal is to complete the chain so that the whole
Yes.
situation stops and we breathe good air, or we breathe normal air in Delhi and not be basically in a gas chamber in that October, November, December period. So that's the goal that we are trying
because
to drive for.
because as compared to the NGOs and the others, these people, they have they are like directly connected. They are on the field, so their reach is actually more. Because I've been I have done like few workshops with them, and Dr. Goel was also part. So they have like very, very strong reach, and people do listen to them. They might not do it completely, but then they have a very, very strong presence everywhere. So if some of these could be involved, it would make a lot of difference. Also, I would like to ask, do you have a tentative agenda, like when we are planning to have which webinar, and what are the talking about the series, what are the other aspects that we are considering? The fuel one, I think, is a very, very important suggestion that is made by Mr. Kokil. It is very, I think, very, very relevant if you put it as fuel rather than just power. And if you could give a tentative agenda and the tentative dates when we are having, and who all experts would be delivering.
So,
Also, who are the collaborators and everything? I think if you could share more about this, that would start making things more clearer.
Absolutely, Dr. Kaushik. So we are working on it. We are working on the list, and we will share it with you very soon. Yeah, so absolutely, completely agree to you. We are working on it, and we will share it with you very, very soon.
Okay, that's it from me. Thank
And
you.
yeah, with the application, like with the industry and with the timelines as well. When are we organizing this? Okay, great. So anybody else have to have any comments or any suggestions on this? Okay, all right. So, just wanted to sum this up. I understand, I would like to, be respectful of everybody's time. We scheduled it for 1 hour. So, just to quickly wind up. So, as a next step, we would wait to get a quick presentation from Mr. Singh about the webinar. We will change the subject line, the title of the webinar from power to fuel. And also from Connexum side, we will share the upcoming webinars and for which industries are we doing it, with the timelines as well. We will share that as soon as possible with you. So is there anything else our advisory board members would like to share?
Yeah, I think this is Partha. I think one of the things that we can look at is when you're sharing the list of possible areas, possible sectors, etc. Then the advisory board can help you turn it into a story. You see, there should be a fluidity between the topics that you choose. There should be a connection, and there should be a certain sequence, and we can help you on that. Then what happens? You are able to, if you're coming up with a report at the end of it, then you have a sequence which will turn into a proper story, and you can present it to whoever
Yes,
you are trying to reach. And
yes,
second thing that will be helpful, so therefore a list of suggestions, whatever you send, will be very helpful. But the second suggestions would be, and we can also help you in that, that will be the list of speakers that you're, or presenters that you're planning to bring in.
sure.
So yeah,
Sure, absolutely, Mr. Bosa. We will share the list of topics, the timelines, and the presenters that we are looking forward to connect with, or the presenters who will be presenting at the webinar. We will share the list with you, and in the meantime, we will contact them and then confirm their participation as well, if needed. So yeah, absolutely, all this information will be shared with you. Also, I just wanted to quickly request all our advisory board members, Mr. Singh, that if you would have probably a list of participants that you think could benefit from this webinar, if you could share that with me. Like Dr. Kaushik said, there would be people from the agriculture department and from the local pollution control boards. If you have any list that you want us to contact, then we would be happy to contact them, and we would be happy to invite them for the webinar as well.
Yeah, sure. I think at least the agriculture department would be a very key stakeholder, and at least for both the states, Punjab and Haryana, that would be.
Yeah, and Mr. Singh, of course, if you, since I understand, since, like we discussed it earlier, this is the business that you're running, and you have an end product that you want to basically, process it further. So if you want to contact somebody, if you have some, companies in mind, or if you want to meet somebody at the webinar, if you want their presence, please let us know, and we will certainly try to bring them on the webinar as well.
Sure.
I'll share the list of the concerned people from the state board, the Department of Agriculture, and one local university which is working in this area. I'll do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So,
sure.
yeah, so just wanted to quickly wind this up, and if nobody has any comments, so we have taken down the next steps, and we
One
will.
last,
Yes, yes, go ahead.
sorry. Sorry, I
No
just
problem.
thought of it because you see, Gitanjali has very good connections with Maharashtra. Gitanjali, please correct me if I'm wrong. Aurangabad, Maharashtra, and other places. I was just thinking, um, you see, because of the stubble thing, the focus is only on Punjab and Haryana.
Yeah.
But I believe Punjab and Haryana is in focus just because Delhi comes in the downwind side. If there were more Delhis, then there would have been more Punjabs and Haryanas cropping up across the country. I mean, what I mean to say is there is stubble burning is an issue in many parts of India. It is just when Punjab and Haryana is blamed just because Delhi is a neighboring country. So if Ritik, if you have any contacts, if you can, I think Gitanjali can help a bit, but if you can reach out to other states, at least one or two more states where stubble burning is an issue, then let's bring them on.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
that would be a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, just a
Partho,
comparison.
I would
Otherwise,
like to flip your idea. See, it is
right? Okay,
if you instead of stubble burning as a issue, if you try to address, it will get
right.
localized. But then if you flip it as a supplementary income generation for agri-based agri-based support.
Right.
So then it will be looked at from a different angle altogether, and then we will have to possibly pitch it in a separate seminar with the same content, but then sell it in a different manner
Mm,
as an agricultural support or supplementary income generating source from the waste of agricultural residues. So if you do that, then it will be more accepted because the driver is not there like Delhi.
correct. 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 Yes, absolutely. In fact, I mean, I look at your I look at your suggestion, Mr. Kokil, as more of a solution, right? I think that's a
Yeah,
I mean that's how I look at it. I mean, but also this gives me your suggestion gives me an idea that Ritik can be a very good bridge between the people, the haves and the have-nots, in
yeah.
the sense
See,
that
we
there
are
are more.
trying to avoid the stubble burning. But then, if you pitch it
Yeah,
in a different manner, it will be better accepted.
exactly,
If it's money, it will
exactly,
be more accepted.
yeah, and if Ritik can be the bridge between those
Yeah,
farmers who have the stubble and between more of Mr. Singh who have the ability to turn them into
correct.
energy by as fuel
It,
in
it,
terms of and
it
buy
becomes a win-win for everybody.
absolutely, absolutely. So think about it, Ritik. You might become
Absolutely.
a new marriage broker.
I would have to have a website for that as well now.
No, but it's a good marriage to do. I mean, I think if you can do that, it will help a lot of people, and especially in this current situation of lockdown, bad economy, poor economy. I mean, this will
So that
come
we
as
can
a very
look at
good.
look at the flip side and then put that idea into their head that, see, this is the webinar that we are doing. Yeah, this is a problem, but again, in the problem, you also have an advantage where you can make money out of this, right? It's an income source for you guys as well. So I think that could be that could be the approach that what I'm thinking of right now. And that is a superb idea actually. We can certainly take it under consideration.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great idea, and it'll be a win-win situation for both the parties. So whoever is in the webinar and whoever is presenting. So absolutely, thank you.
Okay, so anything else from anybody?
I am through.
Okay. Okay, so we just have 3 minutes left, and then let's call it for today. I will share the action items of the meeting. Also, I will share the recorded link. Dr. Goyal, Dr. Sonawane were not able to make the meeting. Dr. Goyal had some network issues actually, so he was not able to make it. So we will share the recording so everybody has the information, and we'll go from there.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Bosu, Mr. Koko, Jeff, Dr. Kaushik. So thank you so much, everybody, Mr. Singh, for joining in, and we look forward to working together. And then thank you, really, really, really thankful for your support.
Oh, yes.
Have a
Thank you,
wonderful day ahead.
everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care,
you,
Thank
Dr.
you,
everyone.
Kaushik.
everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Jeff.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.